Hamburg are one of Europe's biggest sleeping giants, 6 Bundesliga titles and a massive stadium. But in 2018 they suffered their first relegation in club history, but they finally got promoted back to the Bundesliga after 7 years of trying. And it's our job to ensure that they stay there. We are taking over for 3 seasons with the goal of avoiding relegation, becoming a mid-table team and setting them up for success after we leave. So if you love realistic, in-depth career mode, sit back and enjoy as we transform Hamburg. When you start a career mode with a team that's been out of the Bundesliga for like close to 10 years, you don't expect to know many players. But we've got players like Fabio Vieira, Sambi Lokonga, we've got Yusuf Poulsen on the bench. At least I know some of the players, and I have done a bit of research as well into this season specifically, because obviously it's their first year back. It's this exact set of players, just to see who the gaffers like to be playing, who's been doing well and stuff like that, just so I don't basically bench anyone that is their key player. But it's actually slightly changed the tactics. So they've been playing like a 5-2-3 in real life, whereas we're going for this because I feel like our midfield is one of our strongest points. And it would be a shame not to use all of them. And as you can see, I'll quickly show you the tactics right now. So it's just balanced. We're not going to change it too much until we find out the strong points of the team, basically. I know it looks a bit weird, but basically we're going to sign a right wing back that can go up and down as almost a winger. Ransford, we'll call him, dropping into that space. Vieira can drift out wide. Then we've got the 2 midfielders and Felipe up top. And remember, we're just coming in for 3 seasons to transform the team and leave them in a better place than we found them. So they're now in the Bundesliga. We've got 3 years. We need to steady the ship, then climb the league, and then whoever takes over after us can then push on from there. We do have 14 million euros, and I think in this first season, because it's been a while since they've been in the top division, safety's got to be the main priority. Because looking back at this team, their depth, they have so many players, and I don't really want to be going around selling players without giving them an opportunity first. And I've had a look, and basically they have 4 pretty decent strikers, but we're actually starting the 2 lower rated ones because I feel like they've been having the most success in real life because Felipe's been playing on the wing and stuff. But I think right back's going to be the one for us because this guy's decent. The backup, we have a couple, but it is definitely our lowest rated position in the team. We've got some decent defenders as well. It's going to need some improvement, but I think with the 5 back, we're going to be solid defensively. And for the first season, our main goal is just staying up, and then we'll bring in some more talent. Obviously, Fabio Vieira is on loan from Arsenal, but still, in this first season, just his quality of being 78 rated, by far our best player on paper, he's too good to not be using. We've obviously got ex-Arsenal player, Sambi Lokonga, which, to be fair, he could be a decent little player. Just pure energy in midfield. I don't mind him too much. And obviously, we've got Vuskovic, the youngster from Tottenham, on loan for a season as well. We need to make the most of having these players on loan for a year because next year our team might look completely different. But we are going to try keep it realistic with the signings especially. We're not going to just go sign every one kid I've ever heard of because they're cheap and because I know they'll grow. We're going to be looking in the 2nd Bundesliga, maybe loaning some players from better teams in the Bundesliga, the Austrian league, stuff like that. We're going to try look to loan players in from maybe bigger teams or go to the neighbouring countries of Germany to find our talent, and also the youth academy. It's going to be so important for a club like Hamburg. And we brought in Joe Mendes for right back for 4 million euros and our 3rd choice right back in a swap deal. We already had 3 right backs and I wanted to upgrade one. We can't have 4 right backs going into the first season. He is from the Turkish league, but I feel like because he's not from a big Turkish league club, no offense, Samsunspor, I feel like that's not too crazy. We're in the Bundesliga. He's Swedish. It's a step up. I like the look of him a lot. Let me show you him. He's 22 years old, 72 rated, 85 pace. His stats are very similar to the right back we currently have, but he's only on loan. He's 24. He's a couple ratings lower. Whereas with Joe Mendes, we can bring him in now for quite cheap and develop him and know that he's going to be there for the entire 3 seasons. And for the right back role, they're basically going to be a right mid in this team. Because let me show you the left back quick. The left back of the back 5 is this guy right here, who is 6 foot. He can play centre back. He's much more all-rounded and solid defensively. He hasn't got the speed to be going up and down. He's a bit more of a traditional left back. So on the right-hand side, I wanted a bit more speed because we don't have much width in this team. And then we've got that new right back that could be up and down and causing issues. So with no more signings this season, we're spending the rest of our money on this 5-star scout, because youth academy is going to be so important. We're not going to be having the biggest budgets and we need to set them up for the future so we can bring in some young players now. I feel like that's definitely a good investment of our money, and obviously we're going to be going to Germany. And I think our best bet in terms of what positions is midfield, because we're going to lose Fabio Vieira and he could potentially be our most important player this season. So if we can bring through a young German midfielder or a couple, then next season, the season after, and beyond when we leave here, they might be set up for the future. So we're going to find some German midfielders with a world-class scout and maybe find the next Tony Cruz. And we spent some money bringing in some coaches as well. So I think this first season, it's important we set some good foundations for the future of Hamburg. We've got a good youth scout now finding us some German talent. We've got some good coaches in the squad. Only one signing in. But season 2, season 3, we can now just focus on players and development because we've got some good foundations to the squad already. And from the first youth scout report, the only player that's really stood out to me is Wenzel. He's 63 rated, but a potential upwards of 94. He's an attacking midfielder. So if we do stick with this 5-3-2, he can have a lot of freedom as that attacking midfielder role. He's the only one that looked good so far, and I do like the look of him. We're going to keep him in the youth academy for now, see how he develops, but he could get promoted this season for some cup minutes and stuff like that. So that is our first window done. We're not going to make any more changes. Obviously, this is basically the squad they have in real life, plus Joe Mendes. So I think we're good enough to stay up. And in terms of, say, like the strikers and stuff like that, we're just going to rotate the minutes and see who performs well for us. We have a lot of depth that are similar ratings, so everyone's going to get an opportunity to impress me. And I think we can stay up this season and then look to push up the league for the future one. So I'll be seeing you at the end of the first season. And we finished 13th in our first season. It's so impressive. And we were only 3 spaces off the relegation playoffs, but we were 11 points clear of it. And considering our team in terms of ratings and stuff like that wasn't fantastic for season 1, that's a massive, massive achievement. And as you can see here, Königsdorfer got player of the season for a team that finished 13th. That is like unheard of. That's like Mateus Cunha last season getting player of the year in the Prem. Unbelievable stuff. So let's go have a look at that team. So this is what our strongest 11 was at the end of the season. You might be thinking there's a few faces in here you don't recognize. I'll break them down in a second, don't worry. But the ratings are definitely improving. It's a bit of a shame because obviously Vieira is 80 rated, but he's leaving. But Lokonga is up to 78. Königsdorf is up to 75 after winning player of the season. Felipe is up to 77. Mendes 75. All in all, the team is looking very strong. And to be fair, for player of the season, he got 20 goals and 4 assists in 32 games. It is a very good return. I'm still a bit surprised that he managed to get player of the season, but still an unbelievable season for someone that is only just reached 75 rated. And then Felipe got 10 goals, 3 assists. He was a good complementary striker. Capaldo from midfield got 9 goals. And Wenzel, this is where we get on to the 2 youth academy players that have broken into the starting 11 now. So Wenzel's the guy I found right at the start. I showed you him. He got a few appearances off the bench. I promoted him to the first team maybe around January time. He come off the bench a few times. As you can see, in 13 games, he got 2 goals, 8 assists with a massive average rating. He was perfect in that attacking midfield role. We started playing him and Fabio Vieira with a bit more freedom and Sambi Lokonga just sitting. And attacking-wise, we were absolutely fantastic. And when you look at his stats, that's kind of his perfect role. He's got 74 pace, and then his next best stats are dribbling and passing. He's a pure creative genius, or hopefully he will be in the future anyway. But I'm kind of trying to ignore the ratings and play players that are going to be good for Hamburg's future and also fit our system perfectly and are performing. He was our best performing midfielder in the second half of the season. I did another scouting report, this time for a defender, because we obviously play 5 back and a couple of them are on loan and, you know, stuff like that. But at 16 years old and 5'8", I've been playing him at left centre back because, as you can see right here, he's got 75 pace and his best other stats are actually dribbling and defending. So he's the kind of player that will receive the ball, carry it forward and make stuff happen. Because we're playing a free back, we can let him do that. And at only 5'8" as well. But I'm trying to ignore the ratings as much as possible here. He fit our system perfectly. We were playing loads better when he was on the pitch. He would carry the ball forward. He would create stuff. He would make stuff happen. He would get stuck into challenges. So he just became a starter for us. And obviously there is that bonus, the fact that he's a youth academy player. He's going to grow. He's got high potential. But he was performing just as good, if not better, than whoever was in front of him. So him and Wenzel have both broke into the starting 11 and have both performed absolutely fantastically. And we've been given 16 million euros to spend this window, and I've had a couple of ideas of what kind of player we need. So looking at this team, I want to keep Kovacevic and Wenzel in the starting 11, or at least get loads of minutes. But I think another midfielder could be a good shout because we've got Capaldo, we've got Remberg. I might let Remberg go, even though he's big for them in real life. Capaldo outperformed him last year, and I want to bring in another centre mid to potentially start. So it might be time to get rid of one of them. And the other position is actually centre back. So we'll either play Kovacevic, we'll give him the starts early doors. If he doesn't perform, we need a very, very good backup. So, like, if you look at our backups now, they're not fantastic. And if we sign one, we can drop El Fadli to start with. and then he can come in if Kovacevic is not performing. So a centre-back and a centre-mid that are more than capable of starting or being backup, I think is exactly what we need. As you can see as well, we've accepted an offer for Emmanuel Ferrari because he weren't going to be getting involved, and he's 3 million euros that we can then spend on another midfielder and centre-back. And in terms of players we're listing, there's a lot listed, but a lot of these is just because they're unhappy. We don't want to let a lot of these go. But Renberg's the big one. Dompe, because he's a winger and didn't get any minutes, is the other one. And then Yusuf Poulsen. We've decided our current strikers are our best options. We still have one more backup as well. So I feel like for his sake, we may as well just let him go at this point. So for midfield, we've brought in Nathan Skeeter from the second German division for 4.8 mil plus Yusuf Poulsen. They wanted a swap deal and we thought, well, we were looking to sell him anyway. It saved us a bit of money on the actual signing. Perfect for us. And next is Bela Kotchap. See, I was debating this because I was trying to decide whether it was realistic. But I checked. Southampton are still in the championship on this. They didn't get promoted. He's only up, I think, about 74 rated, as you're about to see. 6.8 million. I don't think many Prem clubs are going to be after him. We've just had a good season in the Bundesliga. We can push up. He's from Germany. So he is joined to be our star centre-back for the rest of the rebuild. As you can see, 24 years old, 74 rated. A very good centre-back, though, with 76 pace, 6'3", very good defending, good physicals. He'll just be a solid centre-back. And it adds a lot more depth and a bit of quality to this squad. And as you can see, Skeeter is more of an attacking-based midfielder to play alongside Wenzel, so they both have the freedom to drift out wide and push up. 71 pace, 75 dribbling, 74 rated at 24 years old. Very similar to Bela Kotchap. But they both have half-decent potential because they're still only 24. So the difference between them and our current 74 rated players is their potential is way higher, so they can grow a bit more with the squad this season. We've got the two more attacking midfielders either side of Lokonga. We've got Kovacevic, the ball-playing centre-back that's given the freedom to push up. But let's say Wenzel and Kovacevic don't live up to the expectations and how they played last season, we can still change it. And this is what that change would look like. It's still a very strong squad. In terms of ratings, it's obviously better. But in terms of system, I prefer the two youth academy players playing, because if we can get them performing, that's going to set them up perfectly for after we leave. It's going to bring in profit and also a lot more success. But either way, with these as our best two starting 11s, I'm very confident. We're not looking to bring in anyone else in this off-season, but we are looking to sell a couple players, get a bit more money to then reinvest in even more youth scouts, more coaches, and just build a better system at the club to better prepare them for after LL FIFA leaves. But the squad is actually looking very good, and after a 13th place finish, I think this season we're going to look to push for top half. Okay, and we're now done for sales as well. We've got rid of Renberg. Like I said, he's gone to Hoffenheim for 7.7 mil. Jata's gone to Coventry for 2.7. And attacking midfielder's gone to Saint Etienne for 1.5. Domp has gone to Sheffield United for 5.5. And Ferre has gone to Celtic for £3 million. We've had a big clear out. So we've actually had a net profit for this season. We started with 16 mil. We've now got 19. We've made the signings that we want. So this money is going to go into the youth academy, the coaches, renegotiating players' contracts, making sure they're on long-term deals and stuff like that. So this is now what our squad is looking like going into the next season. Obviously, we've got the few academy players that will filter in and out of the squad as well. I'm very happy with it. You might be thinking the depth isn't looking fantastic. We're going to fill it in with some youth academy players and some more experienced players as well. We might make the odd free agent sign-in. I'm not too sure yet. We'll see how the season goes and reevaluate in January. But I'm happy with the starting 11. We want to reinvest in the youth, make them set for the future. So this is the squad going into season 2, and I'll be seeing you at the end of it. And we managed to jump all the way up to 8th after our second season. As you can see as well, we were only 4 points off Conference League, 6 off Europa, and only 8 points off a Champions League spot. And we've still got another summer of signings and a whole nother season to play. And this is what our team is looking like. And as you can instantly tell, Wenzel, he has broke out this season. And we're not just playing him now because he fits the system and performing well. We're playing him because he's now 76 rated at 18 years old. The strikers are up to 80. Kovacevic is now up to 68 and still performing fantastically. The team, in terms of ratings and performances, clearly have done fantastically. And I think we've seen this jump in league position because we've taken away the focus of, okay, this guy's a little bit higher rated, we'll play him instead. And we're playing players that fit the system, that will get us results. And we've been rewarded with it. Felipe ran the show with goals this season with 21 and 34. And then Skeeter, the new signing, 10 and 8 and 33 from centre mid. The player of the season last year did drop off, but he got 8 and 8 and did have a pretty big injury. That's why he missed only 4 games in the league, but some of these games either side of the injury, he definitely wasn't 100%. And Wenzel, 5 and 9. As you can see as well, Kovacevic got 2 and 3 from playing centre-backs. Gone up another 5 ratings. The youth in this team is fantastic, and him and Wenzel are setting them up for after we leave. And the board have given us 21 million euros, our biggest budget so far. And I think this season might be the first year that we make a big net loss. We're going to be bringing in a lot of players and hopefully keeping hold of most of our squad. So obviously the starting 11 here, I'm really happy with. We just finished 8th. I don't think the starting 11 itself needs major improvement, but there are a lot of positions that we need more depth in and maybe players that could potentially become starters in the future. So firstly, goalkeeper. Our backup is nowhere near good enough, and our starter is now 34, going to start going down in rating. So we're going to bring in a younger keeper that can potentially start this year. Either way, can be their future starter. And then next is fullback. As you can see, right back, there is no backup. Left back, there is no backup. So we're going to bring in a left and a right back in this window. And the other position is centre mid for a backup as well, because Capaldo, we're going to let him go. He's too good to be sat on the bench, and he's not going to be getting in the starting lineup. He wants to leave and be a first team player somewhere, so that is more than fair enough. So we're going to bring in one more backup midfielder to make it 3 decent backups. And finally is a striker, not to be starting, but as you can see, our backups are so far off the ratings of our starters, and the injury did definitely hinder us last year. So we're going to bring in maybe a bit more of an experienced striker. So if there is an injury, there's someone that is experienced and ready to take the reins when they're needed, especially if we want a Pokal run. We're going to need depth more than ever. As you can see as well, we've set up a youth scout, a 5-star once again, this time to look for a German right back and left back. So we're going to sign a right back and left back, and we're also going to get some in our youth academy once again to prioritize the future. I think we're going to be leaving them in a very, very good spot. As you can see, we've accepted an offer for Capaldo for 5.8 million, which to be fair will take our transfer budget to close to 25-26 million. He can go be a starter elsewhere. He's been such a good player for us, and I'd love to keep hold of him. But if he wants to leave, we're not going to force him to stay. We want a happy squad, and he's good enough to go play first team somewhere else. So I think it's about time we get started with this very, very busy window. As you can see, we brought in 5 players. Firstly, Lubac for the centre mid role, 3.7 million, plus one of our backup young low-rated wingers just to save a little bit of money. And then for goalkeeper, we've got Schenk, the German playing for Borough. He's worth 9.4 million, and he's going to be our starter in this first season. Then the backup fullbacks, we've got Van der Haar for 2.3 and Lundell for 1.8. Obviously, Capaldo has gone for 5.8, and Eggestein for the striker role for 2 million euros. As you can see, Schenk is 24 years old, 75 rated, the same rating as our current keeper, but he's got that potential. He's 6'3". He is German, and I like the look of him a lot. Van der Haar for the backup left back. He's very similar to Muheim, so I think he's going to fit the system perfectly. If he does grow in rating and become the starter, 70 rated, versatile, it will do a solid job. With Lundell as well, he's only really going to be playing out of necessity. We just needed someone, and hopefully the youth academy player that we do bring in can get more minutes than him if he's a high enough rating. Lubac for centre mid actually looks very good, 22 years old, 73 rated for less than 4 million, and a cheap low rated player. I think that's a really good deal. He's got decent potential. He's very all round, so could go into the DM or the more free attacking role in midfield. Good potential. I like the look of him. And then Eggestein up front, 29, 71 rated. He's not fantastic, obviously, but it's another good striker option. If needed, he can play up there. He's got loads of experience and can do the job perfectly fine. So this is what our starting 11 looks like going into our final season. Obviously, the only change to the actual starting 11 is Schenk in goal, who I'm very excited about. But if you now look, the bench is looking way stronger. We've got some good reserves as well. The squad is a lot more full. We've got decent backup in every position. We've got a good mix of youth and experience. The squad, in terms of the starting 11, is going to continue to grow. They're already growing in ratings massively. We're averaging like 4 or 5 ratings for a lot of players each season. So at the end of this season, any European spot, Conference League, would be fantastic. So at least when we leave, they have something to show for it. They have a European spot. Either that or get to the Pokal final. Either one of those two, I think, is our main goal. But either way, you've seen the team. A lot of them were here from the start, and they're here to end it off as well. Let's get into this final season and leave Hamburg in the best position possible. Well, I thought we were ready for the last season, but in typical fashion, Bayern Munich have nicked Felipe. His release clause of 32.8 million has been met, and he's gone to the biggest team in the league. This is what clubs like this have to deal with. Mid-table level clubs, their players do get bought by the bigger ones. We have to deal with it. We have to move on. It is a shame because Felipe was so important for us. And going into our last season, I mean, it would have been lovely. But we do have 34 million euros to spend on a replacement. But we are running out of time. We've only got a couple days left. And we need to think about this very carefully because this could completely change our season. And looking at this team, obviously, we were ready to go into the season. So it is only the striker, Felipe, that needs replacing. And it is a difficult choice, but in the negotiations with Bayern, I had a little word with them. And we bought in Sieb from Bayern Munich for 13 million euros. He was like their third choice striker. They've now bought in Felipe. He was going to get no minutes. And I said, mate, if you're nicking Felipe off us, the least you can do is give us someone to replace him. He's not as good as Felipe, don't get me wrong, but he is someone at least. Look, he's 76 rated, 24 years old. He's got 83 pace. He's 5'9". He's an agile little striker who could link up nicely next to our other strikers. So it's not the end of the world, but it's definitely not ideal. So this is the updated team that's going into our final season. There's still so many positives, and Sieb is only 24 years old, so we can definitely grow with the future of the club beyond when we leave. But either way, the final season, let's get into this. And let's end it off well. I mean, the 10th place finish is absolutely fine. And obviously, it's a bit of a fall off from last season. But that's consistently basically a mid-table team now we've established Hamburg as. We've got some decent talent coming through. We're still making profit a lot of the time. It's really not too bad. Especially because we've got the Pokal final. I was keeping this one quiet from you boys. It's us versus Wolfsburg in the final. And I mean, this team at the end of the third season is looking fantastic. Wenzel's 84 rated. Oh my God, he joined us as a young lad at the start, and now he's our best player in the squad. I mean, look at these stats. 19 goals, 12 assists. It's a joke. And in the Pokal, we got 6 goals in 4 games, by the way. It's absolutely ridiculous. Sieb, 18 and 7. 25 goal involvements, 32 games, and 8 goal involvements in 4 Pokal games. Wenzel, 13 goals, 6 assists, and 3 and 2, up to 84. He is the boy. Just take a minute, lads. Wenzel, his stats, he's got the Thomas Müller effect, because I've just clocked. How is that 84 rated? It's beyond me. But either way, he's just going to become a Hamburg legend, or he's going to break some transfer fees. Okay, we're obviously going with our full strength lineup in the Pokal final to face Wolfsburg. And remember, this trophy is a bit like the FA Cup. You qualify for Europa League. So, even though we didn't get in the league position, if we win this game, our first season leaving Hamburg, they will at least have Europe, and we can show that we've left them with something. Not just talented players, a brand new European competition they haven't been in for so many years. That is half time. We've dominated the ball, had half chances here and there, but nothing really to show that we're going to go on to win this. We definitely need to up the tempo, more pressing, more energy in the second half. But they're not really offering much either. Okay, we're 87 minutes in, and it looks like we're going to be heading to extra time, unless they want to change that. Oh my God, Muheim has won that fantastically, and he's still going. He's still going. 89 minutes in. Can we get someone running into the box? Muheim's holding it up nice. He's put a ball in. Skeeter. Even if you could script a game of FIFA, you couldn't script it this well. 91st minute in the final game of our final season. And Skeeter has scored a fantastic header. The cutback is fantastic. The ball's amazing, but the header, it's the star of the show. That is a ridiculously unbelievable header. And that is obviously the game confirmed. We left it late, but it was unbelievable. And that is obviously the end of the Hamburg rebuild. We've taken over them for 3 seasons, consistently mid-table, bought through a lot of youth. Now, Wenzel is our highest rated player. We bought him through in our youth academy in season 1. We've invested in coaches. We've now won a trophy in the 3rd season. We've qualified them for Europe. Everything is looking steady and positive in Hamburg, and getting our hands on this trophy will mean the world to the fans. But obviously, if you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. That is where this rebuild ends, but I need your guys' help on where to start the next one. So make sure to comment down below, what team do I need to save?